And so we're going to break down some stuff very more simplistic or more in-depth than I typically go. So bear with me if it's not the most organized or easy flowing Zoom. It's not my specialty. But I will also be posting this recording tonight because I do know that I talk very quickly. So going through some of this, if you guys missed something, just wait. The recording will be on my YouTube. My YouTube is just my name, Mariah Newsome. And I'll get it up there tonight. So as long as it takes to sync up or whatever. So I wanted to kind of do this. I want to start doing this every month and kind of sit down and just go over some of the basics that we need to be doing. Because guys, we are exploding not only as a team, but as a company. And we have all of these amazing promos going on, and we are bringing in people left and right. And so we want to make sure that as we're bringing in new people, that we're teaching them how to launch each month successfully. And for us people who've been around, sometimes, you know, we just need a little refresher. So I'm going to switch this over to speaker because I just keep looking at everyone and I'm like, oh, hi, Sarah. Hi, Jessica. I'm going to be all over the place. So I got to pin my video or this will be a long night, guys. Okay. So the first thing I want to talk about was making sure your ADBV auto shipment is set up on eSuite. Super simple to do this. Log into eSuite. Across the top, it is going to have where it says auto ship. You click that and you set up, you hit create a new one and you set it up for at least 80 in volume. And what we're doing here is this is a way to be commission qualified. In order for it to actually count as your commission qualification for that month, it has to run that month. So if you set up an ADBV auto shipment for March, it is not going to commission qualify you for February. It will commission qualify you if you let it run in March. And so we want to make sure that one, you have that set up, even if you have no intention of running it and you're going to get your 150 BV, you still want to have that set up because if you don't, you are not going to be bonus eligible. And guys, we want to be taking advantage of every opportunity corporate has for us, and weekly bonuses are a big part of how we can make some money. And so we've got to have that 80 BV auto shipment set up. Even if you don't run it, even if you're going to be commission qualified by getting your sales, you've got to have that still set up. And that's, we're going to talk real quick. The second way to be commission qualified is to accumulate 150 PBV of sales. So that is your personal bonus volume customers directly under you, not your downlines, not your, team, anything like that. Your personal volume has to be at least 150 every single month, or you run that ADBV auto shipment. And if you guys are new and this is like your second month or first month, on the first, all orders start over at 0. So when you woke up and you looked at eSuite and you had that like heart dropping moment, like where'd my volume go? It's okay. It's coming back. I promise. As your auto shipments run, that volume will reaccumulate. And so you have to be at the end of the month, either 150 in volume or have actively ran the auto shipment, not just set it up during that month period to be commission qualified. And everybody, you better be commission qualified. I want you to drop a 1 in the comments if you've got that auto shipment already set up and you are ready to go, because everyone here needs to be getting those paychecks, especially with all these bonuses coming out and all this amazing things. This is something super simple. And I've seen people who are like farther in the business forget to do this in a month and miss like out on a bonus or miss out on a paycheck. And we don't want to do any of that business here. So I want to touch on that first. Next, I wanted to talk a little bit about the Boards app. Let me turn off this light so you guys can see my phone. You guys know I cannot share my phone very well. Oh, actually, I can screen share my phone for you guys, and then we should be able to see it. So let me. But a lot of teams now are using this. And so we want to make sure that we are understanding how to use it. I've had a lot of questions. So I figured if we do it all while we're just sitting right here, we can all kind of have a good basis of how to utilize Boards most effectively. This is an incredible app, complete game changer. So if you're on my personal team, you guys have this 2021 boom season. If you are under Katie, you have the pack. And so you guys should have that on your main screen. If you don't, make sure that you are logged into Boards with the same email address you provided for the link to be sent. So we're just gonna use ours, for example. So if you come in here, you have all of the things, all of this, but on your view, you won't be able to edit them. Okay. Let me tell you how we're going to do this, how you can still use these. I think it's probably the most common question I've got is I can see it, but what do I do with it? So you go on your phone, and we're going to go to settings. We're going to go to general, keyboards. Again, keyboards at the top, and you're going to hit where it says boards, and you've got to allow access. Now, this is going to allow you to use the boards app as a text replacement keyboard. So when I go to type up a message, text my mom, I can click the little globe at the bottom, and it's going to pull up everything, and I can completely just text replacement, one click into my conversations. So if you guys are wanting to edit any of the scripts that are in here, what you're going to do, super simple, you're just going to make a new board and name it whatever you want. We're just going to name it Sarah's board because I keep looking at you, Sarah. So we got Sarah's board. And so if she wants to do something for, say we're going to do host a post, then we're going to hit that globe. I'm going to find what I want to use. I think I went out of it. Hold on. Okay, there we are. Oh, this is already at the bottom. So we're going to do host a post, and we'll put the initial ask in there. So now it's going to be directly on your board you just created. So you're going to be able to go in and you're going to be able to edit it and type in whatever differences you want and use that as your keyboard. So you're able to go and change the name, or you're able to change up a couple words or whatever it is that you guys are wanting those changes to be. And then you can use that directly in your conversations. So if you guys have any more questions about boards, go ahead and drop those in the comments because I want to make sure I address all of that off the bat. This is an absolutely amazing resource. Like, this takes all of these scripts, all these things that we typically have all over the place, and put them all in one location. And make sure you guys, I want to make sure you guys know that once you are added to a board, you then should have the ability to add people. So as we're signing our new team members, we want to make sure that we are also getting them plugged into this resource. Don't throw them in there on day one, okay? Remember, a confused mind says no, and that's a very confusing resource because there is so much information. But once you are guys, we're getting to where they're posting and they're starting to have these conversations, we want to make sure that we're getting our newbies plugged into that as well, because that is going to be such a huge resource. Like, I can't even fathom what my business would have looked like getting started if I would have had so much in one place, because I am not organized. So being able to have that is just, it's amazing. So I'm assuming nobody had questions on boards. So I want you guys to drop a 2 in the chat if you have boards and you're readily using it and everything's been going great. And I want you to drop a 3 if you just learned how to use it and you're super excited to get off here and start implementing this app more into your business. We got a lot of 2s. Cool. So everyone else is already hooked up on this pretty much. Cool. All right. So now I want to talk a little bit about scheduling. Again, I'm not green. I'm very much just kind of do what feels good when I want to do it and what's going to make the most money. So scheduling has always been one of my biggest difficulties. And so I want to kind of talk to you guys with some of the tools that I've come to put in my brain to help me get a system, because without a system, it's so easy to drown and to falter in your business because it can be very overwhelming. It's very easy to look at it and be like, wow, I have so much to do, or I'm on my phone all day and I actually haven't accomplished anything. And so when it comes to scheduling, especially going into boom season, our business, it ebbs and flows just like any company, any business. And you're going to have peak seasons. You're going to have peak times when things are insane and you're on your phone all the time. And you're also going to have time when you're not on your phone all the time. And I think right now, especially because we are bringing in so many new people, I want you guys to put, I think we're at 4, a 4 in the chat if you are 3 months or less in the business. If you've been in the business 3 months or less, you guys are our newbies. So I want to see what we're in here. We got 1. I saw 4 and I was like, I said 3 months, not 4 months. Just kidding. We said drop a 4. Okay. So we've got a lot of you guys who are still fairly new into this. And so one freaking get pumped because you just joined and are instantly not only launching your business, which comes with excitement on its own, you're launching your business in a season where the company is exploding. And that just means that things are going have the potential to take off for you these next few months. And so that's why I really want to talk about this, because scheduling is so important in this season, especially if you're new, because you can see this and you can start to wonder, is this something that's going to be sustainable? Am I going to be able to keep this up because I'm doing so much now? And I want to tell you guys, it does slow down. Things slow, things pick up, things slow, things pick up. But during this season, I want you guys to get really focused on intentionality. That was my word for like 2019 was intentionality, which was my first full year of the business, which is just kind of cool to think about. But being intentional with your time and business is going to completely change the foundation of what your day looks like. And you've got to get super crystal clear too. I want you guys to take 2.2 seconds. I want you to close your eyes and I want you to imagine your dream day. What does that look like for you? You wake up, what time is it? For me, it's 7:15. Some of my girls, we did dream boards and I done set out this year, I'm going to be waking up at 7:15. So for me, that's 7:15 and I get up and I'm able to, eat breakfast and do my skincare, which is a new thing for me. I'm able to take a shower. I'm able to do my Devo, read my Bible. I'm able to go walk on the beach. I'm able to drink my coffee. I'm able to work out. And all of this before like 10 o'clock. And then I'm able to, start getting my day going. At 11, I'm able to hop on a power hour. At 12, I'm able to eat. At, 1:30, I'm able to go to the park with my dogs. At 3, I'm able to go have lunch with my husband or have a snack with my husband. And, what does that day look like? What are those key features? And then I want you guys to kind of think of how you can implement that now, because your dream day doesn't have to start when you're successful making $10,000 a month. Your dream day doesn't have to start in 2 years or in 2 months or once your promotion is over. I want you to think of those key factors of your dream day, and we're going to try to think of how we can implement them in the life you're living now during boom season, during the time when your business is booming so much and you are so focused. For me, that's always been my mornings. And my mornings, my girls know if you message me before 10, you may or may not get a reply. And that's just the way it is. That's a stigma I've set up my entire business. And it's really cool, guys, because that's okay. Not a girl on my team is like, dang, if only I could talk to Mariah earlier. It sets up this culture of I prioritize me and I prioritize my time with Jesus and getting my mind right. Because guys, you can't pour out of an empty cup. And that just sets up this environment that's okay. I remember one of the biggest aha moments early in my business is Ashley Mayfield said that she didn't start working her business till 10 a.m. And I was like, dude, I thought the second my eyes open, I had to be on my phone working till the time I went to bed. And I want you guys to really tone into that. That is not how it has to be. You have got to take time away from your business every single day. You've got to take time for you every single day. You've got to take time to implement those things of your dream day, of that dream life. You don't want to work so hard that you miss it. You want to create it and cultivate it in the process, and you can have that and boom season. So I want you to think of what that's going to be, whether that be, you're going to start doing your mornings. Maybe it's at night. Maybe you take a few hours off in the middle of the day if your kids are in school and you've got free time. But I want you guys to start implementing this block of you time, whether that be taking a bubble bath or going and walking, but every single day, really taking a moment to pour into you, because boom season is so fun, but it's so exhausting. It's the best kind of exhausting, but it's so exhausting. And I don't want you guys to get burnout. You don't have to be constantly plugged in. You can afford to take a break and take time for yourself. And what allows that break is by the intentionality in the times you do dedicate to work. And that's like, even in boom season, I really only work 2, maybe 3 hours a day. And it's because during those times, I'm able to be super intentional. In between the times, of course, I'm signing customers, I'm throwing up a post, I'm finishing, replying to messages, but really working only 2 or 3 hours. Like this, I want you guys to drop a 5 in the chat if you guys are like bomb at the KPI task list, or a 5.5 if you don't get your task list done every day. Look, we're going to mix it up. We're going 5.5 here. Okay. So the thing about the KPI list is it is designed to be completed in 1 single hour. 1 hour of time, you should be able to complete the entirety of your KPI list. Yet so often we have excuses at the end of the day that we're not able to finish it because we didn't have time today. But the truth is we all have that same 24 hours. We all have the time. We are being unintentional in the way we are investing the time we have. And so I want you guys to be super intentional. Like, just imagine if we do a power hour from 11 to 12. So imagine you hopped on my power hour at 12:30, you gave yourself 30 minutes afterwards, and from 11 to 12:30, you worked and you completed your entire KPI list plus some. Think of how that could set up your day, because now you get to work your business to work your business. You get to work your business to go forward, to do more. You already have all the bare minimums done already. Like, that's pretty exciting. I don't know about you guys, but that's like part of my dream day, being able to have all of my tasks done so early. And so I want you guys to be intentional with working your time. If you're not able to hop on a power hour, who's to say you aren't able to host one? Whether that's just you alone in your car on your lunch break, or that's you asking your upline to use their Zoom code and host it for the team, go for it. No one's going to tell you no. We love seeing you guys step up and step out. And that's like Timoni's one of my girls, and she all the time she'll message me, "Hey, can I have your ID? I need to do a power hour, or I'm not going to work." I'm like, "Oh, honey boo, yes, ma'am. Go do it." And that's how everyone's going to feel. Take initiative. Like, for me, leadership was always a big thing. That's part of why I was successful in the business, is because I have a heart for leadership. And Katie provided a stage that allowed me to lead. But a lot of that came from me taking the initiative to ask. I got to lead Corporate's Power Hour last week because I asked. I was like, "Hey, use me. Where can I speak? Where am I needed?" And I was able to be put into that spot. So don't hesitate to ask. If you guys got something to say, if you guys got some work you want to do, ask someone, and they are going to put you in the spotlight, and you're going to get that opportunity. That's just a little side note. But let's see, prioritizing you. We also want to start making sure that we are prioritizing the idea of a Sabbath. Whether that is, a little bit of time each day, like maybe half a day and half a day, which is what I'm starting to do, because mentally, anytime I take a full day off, like, it just is a setback for me. Even if personally it's good, business wise, like, my business mind gets sad because of my redness. So I'm doing half a day and half a day, like 6 p.m. to like 6 p.m. I get like a full 24 hours, but I'm still able to work 2 days of my business. And so I want you guys to get really kind of play with this idea of a Sabbath and giving that time. Our time is just like our finances when it comes to tithing. And, God blesses us so much more when we first give his portion back to him. And, our money is limitless, really. It's not, this resource that's going to go away. You can constantly earn more money, but you can't earn more time. And so this idea of tithing our finances is a pretty easy concept to jump on board, even when things are tough and, maybe you don't do it, or maybe you will do it, but it's something we can understand. Tithing your time, though, especially in boom season, can be really scary. To be like, well, I've been signing like a bunch of customers and I still need, 10,000 in volume to be able to do this. And I got to take 4 days completely off this month and tithe my time. Like, I don't know. That's a little scary. Okay. It's been a little scary for me, but I can promise you God can do more in 6 days than you can do in 7 days. I'm going to say it again. God can do more for your business, more for your volume, more for your enrollments in 6 days than you can in 7. And so tithing that day a week, especially in a season that is so high intensity, I think is so important. And so if that's not something that you guys are already doing, I recommend kind of, playing with the idea, testing that out, kind of getting a feel for it in your business, because it can be part of the catalyst that can change everything for you guys. So I wanted to go over also the KPI tasks. A lot of you guys are doing them, at least partially, which is awesome. Put a 6 in the chat if you guys have never heard of the KPI task list or never done it. Let's see if we've got anyone that new that we don't know what KPIs are. I don't think so. Cool. Okay, so I think everyone has an idea of what the KPI task list is. So I'm not going to spend too much time on this. We're just going to kind of like piggyback each point. If you have any questions about the KPIs, drop them in the chat and I will answer them as we go. Okay, So, all right, so the first task is to use your products. This is crucial, okay? You have got to be a product of the products. And I don't want to hear any kind of BS of, well, I don't need to lose weight. I'm already skinny or yada, yada. Cool. We have a product for everybody, okay? There's still a product out there for you. Go grow your hair out. Go tone up with a wrap. Go get our skincare line. Go get our lash serum and get longer lashes. Like, there's always going to be a product for every single one of you guys. And so it's so important to not only use that, but to use it and show your work. Like, we're trying to sell products here, and why would someone buy something if you don't believe in it enough to invest in it yourself, right? And so it's so important every day to be putting yourself out there with your products. And so I post about my coffee every single morning. That I'm pretty sure half my body is not blood, it's coffee, or our keto coffee. I drink that stuff ridiculously. And now you guys, you better watch out if you on my stories. I know you guys see me in these gummies because holy poop, I just took a before or an after picture for 2 weeks with these gummies, and I'm like, dude, that's not even the same person. Okay. But because I'm talking about so much, guess what my two products I probably sell the most? I sell a lot of coffee samples, and I sell a lot of gummies and a lot of Thermophyte X. And those are products that I use regularly and I'm talking about regularly. So not only does my audience then get to see me using the products, I have a different level of confidence when I talk about them. I can see someone on the street and they ask me, and I can go through an entire conversation about every one of these products, not just in the factual base of this is what it does, but this is what it actually does. I know it says it curbs cravings, but when I drink that coffee, I don't eat until 1. I'm good. That's what it actually does. And you're able to have a completely different confidence when you're talking, when you know what the products do by personal experience, and it builds a different level of trust. I'm more likely to buy something from you if you can tell me what it tastes like, what it feels like, what it smells like, what it looks like, how to mix it up. Do I need to take 2 pills together? Do I take them separate? What happens if I take them together? Are the gummies good? What do they taste like? That wrap thing, what does it look like? How does it feel? If you can tell me exactly what you do with this, I'm going to be way more likely to buy. And in your conversations, guys, everyone, like I said, should have results photos and should have corporate approved result photos. Okay. With this whole push of everything being compliant, corporate has completely redone their standards for accepting before and after photos and approving them to make it way more likely that your photos are going to be approved. And it's so simple. You just go into the Connect app and you hit your face at the bottom, and then you hit before and after or submit before and after, and you just click the photos, you put in what products you used, and voila, it goes into the corporate universe and they get to approve it and they send it right back to you. And using that should be in your story at least once or twice a week, should be your photos. I know we've got some amazing photos out there, and I know you may have only lost 5 pounds and you want to show someone who lost 50, but you're different. Your result photos, your longer hair, your clearer skin, your whatever, your more energy, whatever that is, your less bloat, whatever you guys got your results on, should be in your stories or on your page 1 to 2 times every single week. Because I know it's so easy to think that we're getting repetitive, but think of how many friends you add every day. Every couple of days, you have pretty much a brand new audience who's going to be seeing your content. And so every couple of days, you've got to be putting your results out there. And then in your conversations, when you were in a personal conversation with someone talking about products, you should never end the conversation without putting your results in it if you have a result for that product. Now, if I'm talking to someone about hair, skin, and nails, I'm not going to put my results in there. I just cut all my hair off and I'm trying to keep it short. So that product I'm avoiding. I don't have results. So I'm not going to necessarily throw information in there. But if I'm talking about weight loss, you best believe I'm putting my result picture in every single conversation. And, maybe it's when I first tried the gummies. I was 2 days in, I was still putting my results photos in there, even though I didn't have result photos with the gummies. I was just talking about, this is my results with our products. And then, they're ready to order. They're like, well, what did you use? And guess what, guys? Upsell, you need coffee, and upsell, you need Thermophyte X, and upsell, okay, you probably want to do a cleanse, and you're going to be able to cultivate bigger orders organically because you're just telling them what works. You're not telling them what worked for Sally Q down the road. You're like, dude, this is what works today. This is what works for me. And it builds a whole different level of confidence. Task number 2 is to share your story. Again, I know this can seem kind of repetitive, but you've got to think, we're redoing our network so often. We're bringing people in, we're taking them out, we're bringing people in, we're taking them out. Your content is going to be seeing new audiences every few days. And so it's so important to make sure that you are still connecting with who you are as a person. And what you guys can remember also, that we're not just sharing a novel every day. There's some days that, like, I'm going to read you the back of the book. You're going to get a whole preview of my life. But then there's some days that my story is going to look like just one singular chapter. I'm going to talk about just right before the business, when I had just gotten married and I didn't know how we were going to pay bills. Me and my husband were long-term, like long distance relationship. So we got married, and I was like, wow, I see you even less now. And there's no way that this is what life is supposed to be. And now me and him get to go on date nights every Tuesday, and we go out every Sunday. And that's one chapter of my story. I may be able to talk about how I was in and out of jail when I was in college, making bad decisions, and I was going down this wrong road, and I never thought I was going to amount to anything. And God's been able to use so much of my test to be a testimony and to be able to go out and influence people. And that's just another chapter of my story. And so you have so many chapters, guys. You're a freaking onion. Just like Shrek says, you're an onion. We got to peel back all those layers. And so every day, pick a new layer. And then some days, maybe we're going to cook with the whole onion. But we got to make sure that we are including who we are as a person every day. Like products sell, or products, how's that go? Product something, story share, sell? Wow, I really lost that one as soon as it came out of my mouth, guys. I don't know where it went. But telling a story is so important. If you guys haven't read the book, look, guys, I just got myself all fuzzled. Now I don't even remember what book I was going to talk about. Building a Story Brand. There it is. Building a Story Brand is an incredible book, especially to kind of go into the importance of storytelling, how to use that in your business, not just for your product or your business post, but also in your product post. And, just the importance of story. That is a really awesome book to read with that. Also, go on YouTube and look up Claire Flores, and she talks nonstop about the amazing formula she's put together to help you most effectively tell your story. And it's a great layout of, like, say this first, then talk about this, then talk about this. And I love her. I don't have it written down. I really should have, but it's great. It's a great format because whether you're new or been in for years, you're going to be able to apply that to your story and make good posts with it. All right, task 3 is to interact on Facebook, and then task 4 is to interact on Instagram. This is my least favorite task. Like, this one, I have a lot of issues actually getting done. Like, I hate this. And the book was Building a Story Brand. Let me type it. I hate interacting. Okay. I just felt so awkward. Like, what am I going to go and comment on? I don't know these people. Like, why would I go comment on their stuff? Like, I don't know them. Like, I hated it. And I don't remember who I was talking to. And someone was just like, well, Mariah, you just got to think that they're your best friend. And then what would you say? And I know it sounds kind of silly, but I want you to actually really think about that. My best friend, her name's Crystal. And so I'll scroll through my feed and I'll pretend the name on every post is Crystal Hoffman. And I'm like, okay, so she posted this. Would I reply? And if I would reply as if I was talking to her. Our, 7 years of friendship and that backing it. And I would be like, oh my gosh, girl, that shirt, like, I'm going to need one. Where did you get it? Or like, your hair looks absolutely fantastic. I can't believe you just cut all of it off. Like, it's such a good look on you. And all of a sudden, it's not awkward. It's authentic. And it's the exact same situation. Nothing changed. I'm still talking to strangers that I don't know, but I'm able to put a different lens on it, and I'm able to see it differently. And that's going to start engaging different. I also love to follow up by interacting, because I know sometimes we feel like we are just constantly in someone's inbox, like follow up, and they still haven't messages back, but we don't want to stop following up because, fortune's in the follow up. And so sometimes I will take, and instead of following up in a message, I'm going to go straight to their page, and I'm just going to go interact on their page, because it's still going to put my name in their mind. And that's what a lot of following up is. That's what a lot of interacting is. At the end of the day, when someone is ready to lose weight, when someone is ready to make money, when someone is ready, like maybe they got a bad hairdo and they need to grow it out. When they hit a point that they're ready, you want to be the name they think of. And if you're not in their inbox and on their page enough for them to know your name, they're not going to think of you first. They're going to think of, oh yeah, I think I had that girl on my timeline, and they may go look for you, but they may not find you. But if you're constantly in their ear, if you're constantly showing up in their comments, constantly showing up in their likes, viewing their stories, swiping up on their stories, ignore my dog in the background, but your name is going to be something that they're going to instantly be like, oh yeah, that Mariah girl, she sells weight loss, I think. And then they have a base of being able to find you. And so you want to create your name, you want it to be in their back pocket. And by interacting like that and being that authentic person, guys, right? Like, isn't it nice when you like put up a post and you have someone random come drop like a super authentic comment? Like, I freaking love it. I posted something the other day and someone commented about how proud they were of me. And I'm like, I don't know you, but I accept it. Thank you. Like, and we can be that to other people. We can go out there and we can shed some light and some happiness. And so interacting can be a really fun task, even when you feel kind of awkward at first. And just like everything else, the more you do it, the easier it gets. Let's see, task 5 is to post a corporate approved before and after, which you guys already know. You're going to go get all of your before and afters approved. So you're just going to be posting about yourself all the time. But this is so important. You should not let a day go by that you don't post a before and after, whether on your page or in your stories. There's sometimes, that I'm not going to post before and afters on my page. I may be talking about collagen and show a picture of the product, or coffee and show a picture of my cup. But then those days, you best believe if you click on my story, you're going to see some kind of belly, or you're going to see some kind of hair growth, something up there to show you that these products are still working. And so we got to be, talking about that all the time. Every day, we got to post about the products and about the business. Task 6 is to talk to 10 people about the products. Task 7 is to talk to 20 people about the business. And I actually kind of like that these numbers are off and like they're not the same number for both. I want you guys to drop, we're just gonna start over on numbers. Drop a 1 in the comments if you are super awesome at signing customers. And I want you to drop a 2 in the comments if you're super awesome at signing distributors. I want to take my water. Okay. 1.5. I love it. So typically it is easier on average to sign customers than distributors. And very fundamentally, that's because when you're signing customers, you're selling a product. You're selling something that has backing, that has proof, that has facts. When you're signing a distributor, you're selling yourself and you're selling your ability to help them reach a dream. And that's a lot harder to do. And so I like here that, corporate even took the small step to put in there is to talk to double the amount of people about the business as you do about the products every day. Like, that's just pretty much what that breaks down to. And so, when you're coming to these 2 tasks where you're just talking to people, there's so many ways to get this done. You can go through and just swipe through your stories and reply to everyone who's viewed your story. You can go through your post and reply to people who've commented, who have liked it. You can go through your host a post. And guys, you should be getting up enough host a post every single day that you are having these comments. You should have at least 10 comments a day that you should be able to reply to fairly quickly for customers. And then with distributors, that's where we're going to be going more towards probably replying to the people who saw our stories or who were on our lives or who liked a post and things like that. But you are not going to get the yeses you want if you're not having the conversations to get there. Like, people can't just be like, yes, I want this, if you didn't ask them first. And I love that with the business is there's a lot of people who do want this, who don't know it's an option. And more specifically, don't know it's an option for them. Like, I don't know about you guys, but I didn't think this was an option for me when I got started. Like, it wasn't like I was out there like, you know what? I could kill it. This is probably, make $1 million. It's me. Like, that's definitely not who I was. And because someone took the time to entertain my questions, who took the time to post, and that's how I got started. I saw a post and a message like, what is this? But because someone took the time to invest in me and ask and follow up and do this kind of stuff, I was then able to join. And there's so many people who don't even get a chance to see a post, who join from an ask, who join from someone just being like, hey, you'd be good at this. And it plants that seed of wonder if I could be good at this. And so we don't want to deprive people of the opportunity by being too scared to ask in the first place. So let's see, task 8, out of friends. Guys, we have got to be very, very focused. That's not the word I want, but that's what we're going with. We have to be very focused about this, very diligent about adding friends. And guys, for those of you guys who have been here for a little while, I want you to put a 3, we started over, a 3 in the chat if you've been here a year or longer and still send 25 friend requests a day at least. Okay, so there's a couple. Okay, because I know we've got several people who have been on here a minute. Okay, so we still got some of you guys. Okay, but I will say it's a lot harder to do this once you've been in than to do this when you start. And so for those of you guys who are already on here, like you guys are the new ones, the ones we talked to a couple minutes ago, this is so crucial for you because this is what is going to grow your market. This is what is going to allow you to have a bigger business. You know, so like you have the option to fish. We'll pull up, oh my goodness gracious, I've not used this analogy in so long, I caught myself off guard. Okay, so you can go fishing, right? This business is, we're just going fishing. And so you can fish in a pond this big, okay, with 500 fish. How likely are you to catch a fish, right? Well, what if you had that same sized pond, but you had 5,000 fish in it? How much more likely are you to get a bite? That's what Facebook is. That's what Instagram is. That's what TikTok is. These different ponds that we are fishing in, and we're not filling them to max capacity. Guys, you want that pond stocked. You want to go fishing the day after the truck came and dumped all the fish in and like they're like begging to get out. That's the kind of environment you want. And you're going to be able to cultivate that by constantly growing it, by bringing in those more people. And if you're new, you should be doing this and doing it double. You want to be doing it so aggressively to grow your market, not to this point that you're going to be putting yourself in Facebook jail, not like 500 friend requests in 10 minutes. Okay. But you want to be doing this so consistently and aggressively because the quicker you can build your market, the quicker you can have more people post for you, the quicker you can touch more people to order, the quicker you can have more people seeing your post to buy or to join and all of this. And so that's so important for those of us who have been in my 3s, you guys just dropped here in a minute. It's so easy for us to get stale and stagnant in our market, right? Like how often you've been in, you know, you're pretty much maxed out. You're between 4,500, 5,000, and you just are sitting there wondering why no one's commenting on your post. Well, I've got 3 million follow-ups. Am I right? But no one's buying. And we get really complacent in our market because we have a stocked pond. But guys, fresh fish jump first. And it's so important, especially if you guys have been in for a while, that you are still doing this and almost doing it just as aggressive now as when you started. You kind of go through these waves where like you send a ton of friend requests and you can float, and you have to send a ton of friend requests and you can float. Well, when you've been in for a bit, you've got to hit that market again where you're sending a ton of friend requests. You've got to dip back in. And sometimes that means taking hours to weed through the list you already have, your friends, to make room for new. But I want you guys, like during this boom season, I promise you, if you can bring in like each week, like ditch 150 to 200 people and bring in 150 to 200 new friends every week, guys, that's like what, 1,000 almost new friends this month that you are bringing in and pushing out. Think of what that could do for your market. Think about what that'll do for your post and for your lives and for how all the people who are seeing your stories, like that is a huge shift. And so this is so important. Whether you guys have been here and you're almost maxed out or you're brand new and you have 5 friends, you want to make sure you're being super consistent in bringing these friends in every day. Task 9 is to acknowledge samples. Guys, we have a freaking incredible sample program that keeps you from having to go to the post office, okay? So if you've been in for a minute, like you knew the struggle of having to buy the products, to then sell as samples, to then go pay postage, go to the post office, and like I'm telling you, people would order samples and it would take me like a week to actually ship them because I'm so bad at remembering to go to the post office, or like I'd get to the post office and the samples would be back at the house. Like I was so bad at it. And I love our sample program now because it's so simple. You just get their information and you send them the sample. It's so quick. And then when they are ready to order, you already have 90% of their information to place that order for them. So it is just an easy segue into actually converting them to a customer. And we want to make sure that we're taking advantage of this because there's so much money to be made here. If you guys are super, super new, you still have those sample credits that you're able to send and, you know, make that sample cash instantly. There's so many people out there who can make more sample cash in a month than they make in commissions. Like that's a big number. last month I made almost $700, I think it was $500 or $700 in sample cash alone. That's just selling those coffee samples that I don't even have to leave the house to do. And so it's so important to be talking about them, because again, no one's going to buy it if they don't know it's an option. And so this is a great thing to be doing in your stories anytime you are talking about the coffee or about the sleepy tea. And when you put up your little poll, just put an option in there to try a sample before you buy. Super simple way to put it in there. You know, posting about it every so often as well. I typically post about samples 1 to 2 times a week, kind of depending on my flow and how's everything's going. But to be bringing those people in and giving them the option to try it, that gives you that instant cash. And then, you know, they're going to love it anyway. So it's still going to convert into that customer and that enrollment. And the last task is to get up 10 host to post most of the days, but we're overachievers over here. So we get our 10 host to post up every day. I'm not going to spend too much time on host to post because you guys know that I love it and I could talk the rest of our time, and I've talked longer than I wanted anyway. So if you guys want more information on host to post, I have an awesome video on my YouTube all about host to post and how to use it to work every single part of your business. And there's tons of other people out there. Like I know Rachel Jones has a ton of host to post trainings that are amazing. So those are out there. The biggest thing with host to post is that you just have got to get super consistent with it. You want to be so dang crystal clear, consistent, because that's where the result comes in. It's not just coming in from the ability to get them up, but it's the ability to get them up every single day. You're having this constant flow of new potentials coming in every day when you are doing this. So just get really consistent with that. Okay. Ooh, you guys. Drop a 4 in the chat if you're still with me, okay? Like we still hanging in there, because I feel like I am just like pounding you guys here. I'm talking so dang fast. Woo-wee. I'm trying to get through this. Okay, so now we're gonna talk about charting, okay? Look, I have a love-hate relationship with charting. Turn this off. I both love it and hate math and everything that math has to stand for. So let me see. I've never done this for my iPad, guys. We're just getting all kinds of new tools. Woo, yay. Okay, so can you guys see the whole thing? Cool. Yep, cool. Awesome. So we're gonna start off with Ruby charting, and I'm going to, I haven't logged in yet. Well, let me turn this back off. Log in and then I'll go back over there. Okay, so we're gonna start off with charting. Do you guys have, and we'll go ahead and put in the chat, if any specific questions when it comes to charting. I know this can be a super confusing concept for a lot of people. Trust me, it's taken me years to figure this out. And when I finally figured out how to chart, they went and redid the entire charts and the way it all works. So then I had to learn again. The biggest thing about charting is the reason we've got to do it is at the end of the day, you know, you can't go to California. You can't wake up and be like, I'm going to California, and then just like get in the car and then just show up in California. Like that's not going to work. You've got to have a roadmap, and you've got to have a destination, and you've got to know how to get there. And that's when charting comes in. It's your roadmap. It's, you know, I want to go Ruby. I want to go Emerald and get that $5,000 bonus. But how am I going to get there? And this chart is the exact way you're going to get there. So we are going to be looking at Jessica's chart because I have 3,000,007 people on mine, and I don't want you guys to get overwhelmed. So let me mute all, because if someone unmutes themselves, then I got to try to get back over here to mute them. Good luck, guys. Okay, let me cool. All right, let me try to share the screen again. Okay, and like I said, guys, I'm going to try to go through this fairly quickly. We've got about 15 minutes left, and we'll see how quick I can do through this. I am posting the replay tonight, so you guys will be able to go back in and re-listen to it. So we're gonna look at Jessica here. Jessica is pushing for Emerald, so we're gonna chart her Ruby chart for you guys and her Emerald chart, okay? So for Ruby, you would need 3 people. So we've got our Ruby chart over here. We are going to put in our 3 people. So we've got Jessica is here. This is her chart. Oh, goodness gracious. Ignore my chicken scratch. Okay, so then we've got 3 more people. She's got 4 on here, but the 3 we're going to use is Skylar, Melissa, and David. So we're going to put them in their boxes. Okay, so guys with me? If you are pushing for Ruby, okay, and say you don't have these people, say you only have 1 distributor, we're just going to leave the other 2 boxes empty. So we're just going to leave Melissa and David empty here. And we're just going to pretend you only have Skylar, okay? And that's totally fine. You're just going to write in 400 because you need 400 in volume. We're going to go ahead and like factor that in, but we're just know by having those empty boxes that we've got to sign the distributors to fill it. So we're going to pretend though for these, we already got our distributors figured in. So then we're going to go back to eSuite and we're going to tally up each box individually. So for example, we're going to take here for Jessica and we're going to add up all her customers. So that one, no active auto shipment. So we've got, okay, I'm going to do math on my phone, guys. So just bear with me. Apparently there's no calculator on here. Okay, so 1 customer here is 31 in volume. The next customer, active auto shipment at 31 BV. Oh, the next one is an active auto shipment. Oh, okay, so not active. Well, it is active, but the last month it declined. So when we are factoring our chart to project our volume of where we're going to go, we want to take into account the people whose card declined last month. Most likely their card is going to decline again. So we're just going to not add this one in because we don't want to count on volume being there. That most likely is not going to actually show up when it comes time for the cards to run. So we're going to skip over that one. Okay, so another 31 BB customer. No active auto shipment. A 31 BB customer. 31 BB customer. We're just gonna keep on rocking. And if you guys didn't know, Jessica does have some awesome results. I'm pretty sure she's used Thermophyte X in there. I think. Yep. That's why she's got all these amazing Thermophyte X customers. I'm telling you, when you use the products, you have a whole different level of confidence signing them. Okay, so that puts her, after we added up all of those 31 BBs, that puts her at 310 in volume. We'll put that there, is what she is projected to have. So, you know, if we look at her right now, she's at 62 in PBV, okay? But as these auto shipments run, like we talked about in the first, it all starts at 0. As all these orders are running, that PBV right there is going to turn into 310. So that's what we are projecting is going to come. So then we're going to go figure out another box. Let's start with, we'll go to Melissa's. Okay, so again, we've got to figure out this 400 box for her Ruby chart. So it has to be a 400 in group volume. So when you're looking at your Ruby, if your box is not 150, it has to be 400 and it has to be 400 in group volume. So we're gonna start out here with Melissa. Let's see, she's got active auto ship, active auto ship, active auto ship. Okay, not active and active. All right, so we've got 157 BV so far, but because this is a 400 box, it is group volume, not just PBV. So this will be Melissa's GV. So we look here at Melissa right now, she's at 0 for both, but this box, because we're doing for 400, it's going to be the GV is what we're looking at. Where for Jessica, we looked at the PBV because it's her personal bonus volume. We needed her to be at 150. For this 400 box, it's accumulation of all distributors in this box. So we're going to look at the GV. That needs to be 400. So when we're figuring everything up, that means that we need to also come over here and look at Tiffany's volume. So if we add in Tiffany's volume, we were at 157. We get all her active customers in here. Then that is going to take us from that 157, which means, or which meant that we were going to need volume. Once we add all Tiffany's in there, that puts us at 415, which means we are projecting Melissa's box to be completed on the 25th when all those auto shipments run. All right, you guys follow me? Anyone have any questions so far? Drop a 3 in the chat if you follow me. I think. All right, well, I don't know how to find the chat. So you just drop the comments, it's fine. We'll pretend I can see them. Okay, so we are going to then, to get her Ruby, we would do that for all the boxes. So we would go back and we would find Skylar, and we would go through and we would add all of those, and Skylar has a distributor, so we would also add those ones to get Skylar's box, and then for David, we would do the same there. So we would add up all his customers, okay? So for this, I don't want to keep doing math. We're going to say David is going to, we'll say David has 300 in auto shipments, okay? So if he has 300 in auto shipments, that means in order to be a completed 400 box, he's going to need 100 in new volume. So we're going to get that from taking that 400 that we need. We're just going to subtract out the volume we have, so the auto shipments we have. So we would do the 400 minus 300, and that's going to leave us needing 100 BV there. And let's just say Skylar absolutely is killing it, and she's at like 600 in BV. Okay. So if you add these all up, you're going to notice that we are not at all the volume we need. We are not at 2,000 in the group volume. Like it says over here, we got to have that 2,000 in volume. And so how we're going to do that is we're going to have some extra volume once all of these boxes are at their minimums. So any box head, so like Jessica right here, this is a box head. It's a person that has to be at 150. This is the PBV, not the GV box. So all heads of our promotion, so all ruby heads, emerald head, diamonds head, etc., has to be at 150 or run their 80 BV auto shipment. This person just needs to be commission qualified. So if she is supposed to be at okay, hold on, I'll move jumping around. And then these 3 boxes down here are qualified legs. Those each have to be at 400 in volume. So once all of those minimums are hit, so David here, we still need another 100 for him to hit his minimum. So we need 100 there. And then once all of the minimums are hit, we still need an additional, all right. We need an addition, okay. We'll get there. Okay, found it. We need an additional 650 in volume. Once we've got our 150 and our 3 400 boxes, we're still going to need 650 in volume to be at 2,000 in group volume to achieve the Ruby rank. And the cool thing about that extra volume is that gets to come from absolutely anywhere once a minimum is met. And so since we said Jessica, her minimum is 150 to be commission qualified as a head for the promotion, and she's going to be at 310. So that means if we take that 310 and we subtract out the 150, so that's the minimum that was met, that means she's got 160 volume over her minimum. So that means that is 160 in volume extra that's going to get to come off this 650 at the top. So that would be, we can take out of that 650, we'll put her 160, 160 out of that, and that would leave us with needing now only 490. Are you guys following? I can't see the chat, so as soon as I finish this, I'll stop screen sharing and go back and look. So if you do have questions as we're going, put them in the chat and I will address them as soon as I can find the chat again. Okay, so to keep looking at this, Skylar here, her minimum was going to be 400 as a qualified leg. So it's looking like she's going to have 200 in projected volume over her minimum. So then we can take that 200 off of the extra volume that we need for our total to get to that 2,000 GV. So that takes us down to 290. But then Melissa here, she's also going to be 15 BV over her minimum of that 400. So that we can also take off of that additional volume we need, which will drop it down again to 275. So according to these, with this, we need all of our boxes to be at their minimum. So that means we still need 100 in volume for David. Once we've completed that 100, we still need 275 in extra volume to hit 2,000 total. So that would just mean that we would just add this and what we need down here. So if I needed more boxes, we would add those two. We're just going to add those two, and that means that in total, she would be 375 BV away from Ruby. That just means that she would need to go and get 375 BV in new volume to count to get her Ruby promotion. Okay, guys, let me take a chance to look at the chat really quick. Okay, do the qualified legs need to be active DTs? Okay, Sarah pretty much answered that. So to clarify that question to anyone who didn't see it in the chat, Emily asked, does a qualified leg, so one of those 400 boxes, does it have to be an active DT? And so let me pull my screen back up. We're gonna look at Emerald anyway, so I had to come back. Okay. So again, those qualified legs have to be group volume. So as long as one member of the group is active, the volume for that box will count. So we're going to look back at Melissa because we figured hers out. So Melissa over here. So say Melissa right here, her account was canceled. Okay. So imagine it's not active. Well, Tiffany is under her and Tiffany is active. So as long as Tiffany is active, all of that volume is still going to count in that 400 box because it's an accumulation of group volume as long as one member of the group is still an active distributor. Hopefully that clarified it. So all of that would still count as our 400 box, would not change. On our chart, it would still be 415, even if Melissa was canceled and Tiffany was the only active distributor. All of that volume in that entire group is still going to count towards that. Ooh, I found my chat. Okay, what if I had a DT that canceled, their account shows canceled, but the LCs they rolled? Okay, so I think I'm understanding the question. Okay, so if the inverse happens, right? So say here, I'm saying the wrong names, guys. No one wanted to call me out about how I'm using wrong names. I think I'm using Skylar in my names. It's fine. So we're gonna look at Skylar. No way, I think I had it right. Okay, it's okay. It's okay. This is why I don't do green things, guys. My brain's frying over here. You can see the smoke coming. Okay, so we're gonna say that Skylar is an active distributor, but Jennifer is canceled. But because, again, for a qualified leg, the 400 is group volume, and as long as one person in the group is active, all the volume counts. So for this 400 box, Skylar's volume is going to count as well as Jennifer's, even if Jennifer is canceled, because Skylar is active. So if you were to put a second distributor under Skylar and Skylar quit, as long as that new distributor is active, all of Skylar's volume and all of Jennifer's volume is still going to count towards that group. As long as when you hit that little blue triangle by Skylar's name, as long as when that pulls down, one of the distributors that it shows is active, you can use that as a qualified 400 box. Okay. Cool. Now let's talk about real quick if no one's active. So let's say here, Skylar's account is canceled and Jennifer's account is canceled and we don't have another distributor. What happens to the volume? That volume now is going to go directly towards that extra volume we needed. So she cannot be, if that's the case, if, we'll say Skylar and Jennifer are canceled, then this box has to be someone else. You cannot have your qualified leg has to have one active member. If no one is active, it can't count as a qualified leg. But she still, according to our chart here, she still had 600 in volume. What happens to the 600 in volume? One, you still get paid off of it, okay? You're still gonna get paid off that volume. Two, it's going to directly go to that extra volume you needed. So instead of 200 extra from that box going in our original math here, the full 600 of that is going straight off the extra volume she needed. It's still going to count towards her promotion. It just isn't going to count directly as a qualified 400 box. I think that answered all of those. Cool. Well, guys, we are running so low on time. We're over time. So I will, look, pretty picture of me. Oh, how cute. I went the wrong way. That's awkward. So the cool thing about the way this business is structured is if you guys look at this, what do you notice? The first thing you notice, there's 2 rubies on here. We just learned how to chart ruby. So guess what? We just are going to do that again. Every single promotion in this business from ruby to ambassador diamond is all built on ruby. So once you learn how to chart ruby and you learn how to go ruby, you can go ambassador. That's literally all it is. It's just more and more and more rubies. I have to keep like pulling the chat and making it go away. Okay. I found it though, so it's blinking, so I know it's there. Sorry we're running a little bit longer tonight, but I feel like all of this is important knowledge. And if I can do all of it at once, I don't have to keep going over it, and that's going to be easier for all of us. So to fill this one in, we're going to look, if you look here, hold on, let me make it where I can draw on it. All right. So if we take off this part, okay, we're going to pretend that's not there. What do we have now? We have a ruby chart, right? We have our 3 boxes. So we're now able to go in, we're going to put those same boxes. Hold on, that's not where those people were. That's going to bug me. So we had Skylar, Melissa, and David. We had Jessica was our chart head, okay? So it looks the exact same, right? We're the same place we were. But now we're going to help Melissa and Skylar on this chart go ruby. So we're going to have to do the same thing that we just did, but for them. So let's see, Skylar had a Jennifer under her right there, and Melissa had Tiffany. Okay, so we're going to go through, you would figure up all the volumes the same, but here, remember what we said, we've got our qualified legs. Those ones are 400 in group volume. And then we've got our promotion heads. Those are the ones that have to be commission qualified. So before we just had Jessica, right? Well, now we have 2 more promotion heads. We've got Skylar and we've got Melissa. So these 2 boxes do not need to be 400. They have to be 150 or run an auto shipment. And this now is going to be based off of their PBV, not their GV. Where before, Skylar was our qualified leg, so she just needed to be 400 total. Here, she's promoting. She's got to get her life together. She's got to make sure she's getting her check. So she has to be commission qualified. This has to be based solely off of that PBV. Your promoting head has to be an active account. If, Skylar was in our analogy earlier, Skylar had canceled and Jennifer was the active, then Jennifer would have to be the new head, and we're going to have to put distributors under Jennifer for her to go ruby. Your promoting head, your leader has to be an active account. So we've got Skylar there. We're just going to say she's at whoa, don't want the highlighter. She's at 150. We'll put Melody or Melissa, that was her name. So you need 150 there. We'll say that she's got like 140, so she needs 10. So, I forgot to do my colors. I'm gonna get myself confused over here if I don't have colors. That's the preschool teacher in me. Needs all my colors. Okay, so there, and then we'll put David. He's over here. He's rocking. He got that extra 100 he needed, so we're at 400 now. He's solid. Okay, and so we'll say Jennifer over here. We'll put her at, no, we don't want to give her all her volume. We'll say that she needs 100. Okay. Okay, and we'll put Tiffany over here. We'll say that she's completed. She's got her 400. Her life's together. Now we got these empty boxes, okay? For mathematics purpose, if you're a great mathematician, and if you guys don't do your charts this way, I should have led with that. If you don't do your charts with this way, but you get the right answer, go for it. It's like not that whole new math system where you got to show your work the right way. Nah, we're back in like my age of math, where as long as you get the right answer, that's what matters, okay? But so now we're gonna take here, and maybe you can do it in your head. For me, I gotta have everything visual. So I've got these empty boxes. So I gotta make sure I remember how much volume I need. So because they're empty, I need 400 in volume for each of them, right? Qualified legs, on all of these volumes for the qualified legs get to come from that GV, that group volume of that group. So Jennifer, if she goes and signs a distributor who signs, 200 in volume, that's going to complete that qualified box because it's a qualified leg based off of that entire group's volume. Now, let's talk about that extra volume we needed before, right? When we were going Ruby, all of our minimums were met. We were still going to need, someone just took over and drew a heart, and I'm like flattered that you love me, and also going to get really confused because I'm not writing it. But anyway, scroll to the max. Okay, extra volume, that's where we were. All right, so when we were looking at the other chalk, once all of our minimums were met, our 150 and our 400 boxes were all at their minimum. So at the minimum 150, and each 400 box had a minimum of 400. We still needed that extra 650, right, to get us to 2,000. That doesn't change, okay? But each Ruby needs that, because at the end of the day, that Ruby's got to go Ruby before you can go Emerald. So Skylar would need, right here, she would need her extra 650. I have no room on this chart, but Melissa is also going to need extra 650, okay? So we've got our two different charts now. So this is an entire Ruby, and this is an entire Ruby. So those both have to be 2,000 individually. So they've got to both hit their minimums and both accumulate a total of, each of them need a total of 2,000 in volume. Let's see my chat. Apologizing. So funny. Hey, look, I'm just going to think that you are just loving what I got to share, girl. I'm just going to take it that way. Okay, so once our 2,000 for Skylar's Ruby is done, she's filled her boxes. She's got, she's got Bob here and Sal here, and we've got Sarah and B, because I ran out of space. There, okay, all our boxes are done. Both of them are 2,000. Both of them are Ruby. We're celebrating all of that. For you to go Emerald, we still got to have, oh, I'm running out of colors. Guys, this is getting confusing. So David here, he's yours. He's got to have his 400. See, he's at his minimum. Jessica had 310 earlier. So now when we're going Emerald, if you add up all the boxes, okay, we add up our 2,000, that's 4,000. We add in our 4,000 or 400 box, that's 4,400. We add in our 150 box for Jessica herself. That is only 4,550 in volume. But as you guys see, to go Ruby, you need 5,000. So again, we're going to have that extra volume. So if we take that out, that means that we're going to need an additional, whoa, way up here, 450 in volume once our minimums are met. Now these minimums come past the 2,000. So if Skylar goes 2,000, gets her Ruby at 2,000 and keeps signing customers, okay? Say she ends up at 2,500. Her 500 over her Ruby volume would come off Jessica's total extra needed, okay? Hope you guys are following. The extra volumes typically where it gets confusing. And so once our 2,000 is met here, so this box is 2,010. We give her 10 extra volume. Say this one over here is 2,200 in volume. David's at 400. Jessica herself is at 350. So since Jessica just needed to be 150, that means that gave us, or she's at 310. So we had 160 in extra volume from Jessica personally. David is exactly at 400 right now. So there's no extra volume. He's at his minimum. Skylar went Ruby with 10 or 2,000 in volume and had 10 over her minimum. So that 10 is going to come off of our total extra. And then Melissa went Ruby with 2,200 in volume. So that means that she had 200 over her minimum needed for Ruby. That is going to now get to contribute to Jessica's extra volume. So that puts us at a total of those extra amounts of 370 in volume. So we're going to take that away from our 450, and that's going to leave us needing an additional 80 in volume now that everything else is done. And the cool thing again with this extra volume, that can come from anywhere. So Jessica can go sign 80 BV and that's going to cover the extra. David can go and sign 40 BV and that'll take 40 off the extra. Skylar can go sign another 80 BV and that can come off the extra. At that point in time, it can come anywhere that has already met the minimum requirement. Okay, let me pull the chat back up. Okay, cool. Awesome. Okay, so that pretty much goes over charting. Okay, last chance. Does anyone have any questions about those charts? And then if you're looking in diamond, double, triple, prez, anything past that, you're just doing that same thing over and over and over again. That same fundamentals are going to apply to each stage. It's just learning how to chart Ruby, learning how to go Ruby, and then helping other people do it as well. Okay, so I'm guessing everyone's good. I want you guys to drop 5 in the chat if you are totally a-okay, got charting down. And okay, so Emily's question, while you guys are dropping your 5s, if you've got it down, your Ruby can come from anywhere under you. It does not have to be directly under you. It can be as far down. Like I wish I could show you guys my chart. Sometimes like Sarah is going double diamond this month. My computer's gonna die. We've been doing this so long. Sarah's going double diamond this month and she's like 8 or 9 people down on my chart. Like I gotta click 8 or 9 different blue arrows to uncover people before I can find Sarah who's going double diamond. And so it can come from anywhere in depth when you're building. We're gonna have to do a whole nother Zoom over here talking about placements and like how to place because we ain't got time. But you want to build higher because the higher level, the higher percentage you get paid off of it. So obviously that, but if you got someone, like I said, Sarah's like 9 levels down, she's going double diamond. I'm still going to work with her to go double diamond, even though I don't get paid the same percentages on those levels as I do on someone on my first level. First level, I'm getting 15%. By the time I'm down to like some of her lower levels, because I mean, she's on my 9th level, she's probably got 20 levels. So we are down there at like level 29 customers. I'm getting like 0.5% of commission off of, but you're still going to want, you know, I hope that answers that. They can come from anywhere, but the higher they are, the more you're going to get the commissions off of that. Okay. We're going to wrap it up there. Last thing I want to talk about was mindset, which is just going to be a great way to absolutely end this. And guys, I want you guys to remember that, you know, you can't build a house, you know, just by looking at the tools. And so you guys have an amazing toolbox between boards, the team pages, your uplines, you know, us, our team as an environment, corporate and all they do for us, YouTube and all of these Zooms. You have a freaking stockpile of a toolbox, but you have to apply it. You have to be the one to pick up the hammer and to hit the nail. And you have to be the one to pick up the board and hammer it down. It's not going to just happen. You can't just see the tools. You can't just look at them. You can't just pray for the tools. You can't just wish on the tools. You have to use them. And God's here. He's ready to bless it. He's so ready to bless everything you're doing. But you know, I know you guys have heard me say it a million times, but he can't bless the steps you're not willing to take. And he can't bless the things you're not willing to put your hands to. And so you guys are fully equipped. We went through a whole dang green span of things that I can't even explain. I think we did well. You guys have all that you need to be successful, to chart your promotion this month, to know exactly what you need to the dot to keep up with it as we are going all month long, and to absolutely annihilate these goals. For a lot of us, this is our last month to earn those bonuses, to go emerald and get that 5,000, to go diamond and get that 10,000, and to go double and get that $20,000 bonus. And every single one of you are capable of achieving one of those bonuses this month. I love February promotions because it's the shortest month of the year. And I just feel like anyone who promotes in the month of February can do anything. Like, we don't need 31 days. Give me 28. Let's go. And I just love that. And so I want us to be a group of women. We took so much time out of our night to learn. You clearly want this. So now you have the tools, the fundamental tools. You already have the skill tools. You have the resources of the power hours, and you have the scripts. Now you're going to go from here and you're going to apply them. You're going to take yourself to that next level. You're going to earn that promotion this month, and you are no longer going to let those excuses, those doubts, and those fears control you. You are bigger, you are badder, you are better, and this is our month to rise and shine, to make a wave throughout this company when they're going to be looking over here like, who the heck is that? Like, who is Christina? Who is Nikki? Who is Amber? Who is Cassidy? Who are all these people? Because we're going to get so much notice because we are showing up authentically, being ourselves, working through the stuff, showing up when we're tired and doing it anyway. And we are hitting our goals this month. I believe in every single one of you guys. I'm so excited to celebrate with every single one of you guys, all the promotions that are coming. And this is our time, y'all. God is here and ready to bless it. So I'm going to pray us out real quick, and we're going to get on with our hustle. So dear Lord Jesus, thank you so much for all these amazing men and women who hopped on tonight to learn and better themselves and grow their knowledge and, get the right tools in their toolbox to be able to utilize and go forward in this business. And I just pray that you wrap all of them up in a big hug and remind them that you're here walking with them in the days when it's discouraging, the days when it's hard, the days when they are overwhelmed with the doubt, that you already walked before them. You've already won the victory, and they just get to follow suit. They just get to step into that amazing, wonderful, abundant life you've already got designed for them. Of refill everyone as our cups run out, and all through the month, keep pouring in us so that we can pour you out. And I just am so thankful for everyone here and all that you're doing in their lives. In Jesus' name, amen. And I hope you guys have just the most amazing evening.